Fright Night Vault. Audio horror for nighttime listening.
Welcome, Fright Night Vault listeners. Tonight, we step into a story where water does not cleanse but conceals, where rivers do not give life but take it, where the silence between footsteps becomes the loudest scream of all. Picture this. The night is alive with noise. Music spilling from bars, laughter rising into the dark air, the chaos of the city comforting in its familiarity. Friends stumble through streets lit by neon signs, hands clutching half-empty drinks, voices still buzzing with joy. The world feels safe in numbers. The world feels alive. But then comes separation, a wrong turn, a moment of solitude. One friend slips into the night alone, promising they'll be home soon. A text is left unanswered. A call rings into emptiness, and the laughter of the evening becomes the last sound they will ever make. Hours stretch into worry. By morning, worry becomes dread. By nightfall, dread becomes certainty. Families search, communities post their faces across the city, and police chalk it up to something simple. Too much to drink, too careless by the water's edge, just another tragic accident. But the river doesn't just take, it waits, it hides, it holds its secret until it can no longer resist. Days later, sometimes weeks, the current loosens its grip, and the body returns, pale, cold, silent, always silent. Again, authorities give their explanation, mechanical and rehearsed. An accident, a drowning, another night gone wrong. But those who look closer, who refuse to accept the easy answer, see the echoes repeating. The same kind of victims, the same chilling circumstances, the same kind of ending delivered by the river's mouth. And somewhere in the background, behind the grief and confusion, there lingers a detail that should not be there. A mark, a mocking reminder, a smile that was never meant to be seen in places of mourning. The question is not if it happened once. The question is why it keeps happening. The story deepens when the pattern no longer hides. One case alone can be tragedy, explained away by circumstance. Two, perhaps coincidence. But then the numbers grow, one after another, across different states, in different years. The same tale repeats itself. Young men, most in the prime of their lives, vanish after nights of celebration, not in alleyways or quiet bedrooms, but near water, always near water. They walk into the dark, and they are not seen again, until the river carries them back. The authorities lean on a familiar refrain: alcohol, exhaustion, missteps, hypothermia. But families begin to notice details the reports seem to avoid. Bodies showing up in places far downstream, in currents that should have dragged them elsewhere. Autopsies raising questions, alcohol levels too low, lungs not filled the way drowning should demand. Signs that life may have ended long before water was ever touched. And then, the most unsettling thread of all. Those who return are not just victims of circumstance. They seem selected, athletic, intelligent, full of promise. Not faceless wanderers, but the kind of lives that ripple outward, leaving behind gaping holes in their absence. The pattern grows bolder still. When bodies are found, searchers notice marks close by. Spray paint on bridge supports, graffiti tucked into underpasses, simple, crude, but placed with purpose. A face that grins, wide and empty, staring from brick and concrete. What does it mean? A gang sign? A prank? A coincidence? Or is it something darker? Someone leaving a mark as proof of their work, like a calling card stamped again and again across miles of riverbank. The smile does not fade. The more investigators deny it, the more it spreads. The map begins to connect, like dots forming a shape across the country. Each case another piece of a puzzle no one wants to admit exists. And beneath it all grows one whisper, one name. A name that families breathe in anger and investigators in denial. A name not yet revealed, but one the audience can feel pressing from the shadows. The waters are no longer still. They churn with suspicion. As the stories multiply, denial cracks. Families gather, not just to mourn, but to compare. Their sons did not simply trip or stumble or drown. Their sons were taken. Patterns surface like bones rising from the riverbed. Time and again, the bodies appear not where they should, but where someone wanted them found. Time and again, the same mocking detail lingers nearby. A crude face smeared in paint, grinning over tragedy like an executioner's mask. The image spreads. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Photographs taken blocks apart bear the same mark. Highways, riverbanks, bridges, each graced with the same distorted smile. It is not just a symbol. It feels like a presence, a face that watches, that records, that laughs. Whispers build into theories, theories into nightmares. Could it be the work of one hand? Impossible. Too many cities, too many states. Could it be a brotherhood, a cult, moving unseen from one place to the next, scattering their work like breadcrumbs for only the grieving to find? Or is it worse? A legend given flesh, a myth that different killers wear like a mask, hiding their own crimes within a larger story. So many voices, so many theories, but none erase the silence of those who are gone. And as the map spreads wider, so too does the fear. Families warn their sons, never walk alone at night, never drift too close to water, never ignore the feeling of eyes watching from the dark. For every time another vanishes, the question is whispered once more. Is it chance, or has the river learned to smile? The weight of the story presses down, but still the river refuses to explain. Investigators call it coincidence. Officials deny the patterns. Yet the faces of the families tell a different story. They have seen too much repetition, too much cruelty hidden behind the veil of accident. And then comes the name. Not whispered in alleyways, not scribbled in reports, but screamed across headlines and whispered in forums late at night. The legend is given a mask, a title that chills even as it trivializes. The Smiley Face Killers. The truth is stranger than any fiction. Dozens of cases, spanning years, in different states, all tied together by vanishing footsteps, drowned bodies, and that same mocking grin left behind. Is it one killer? Many? Or has the legend become so strong that others now wear it, adding to its shadow with crimes of their own? The answer has never come. The debate rages on. But the faces of the lost remain, and the rivers, they are never empty for long. The story you just heard is no invention. You can look it up. The incident is called the Smiley Face Killers, a chilling case that still haunts investigators, families, and the waters themselves. Subscribe to The Vault and never walk alone again. We upload daily, and remember, sometimes even the river smiles back. See you on the next video, and tell me, what story should we unseal next?